Mic'd up? There we are. I can hear it now. All right. Well, thank you guys. I think this is the last session here on this side of the board today. So thank you for joining me. My name is Ryan Lance. I'm a senior solutions engineer here at VMware. I specialize in healthcare, but I have used this product for quite some time in my career. I've been with VMware since 2013. So I've seen this product since its inception. So as a previous premier support engineer and technical account manager, I've come to love this product. So I hope that you guys will come to love it too. All right. So today we're going to be this is going to be an abbreviated version. Just fair warning. This would have been an hour conversation. I'm going to pare it down into hopefully 20 minutes or less. So we have we're going to go a quick overview. I'm going to tell you about what Skyline does, and then if we have time, I'll go into a demo. If not, we'll just break out and we'll just throw it up on a laptop afterwards. So with much ado, let's kind of set this up. I'm assuming all of you guys work for organizations that have active support with VMware. So by a show of hands, everybody have active support? All right, is everybody using Skyline today? By a show of hands, who's using Skyline today? All right, a little bit less than everyone. You should be using Skyline today because it's not just a tool. It's a team member. Because if you're doing reactive support, this is probably what you're used to, right? You're used to going in, your hair's on fire, and all of a sudden, GSS, our global support services, they're seeing tickets come up. It's, please help. Nothing seems to be working. I've tried everything. You know, your plugins are the worst, right? And all this does is create chaos, not only for VMware, but for you guys as the customer, right? And this is reactive support. And we see a lot of this. And we see a lot of this come through on the back end. And that's okay, right? But what we would like to do is we'd like to make this a little bit more of an efficient process. So we came up with a tool, and the tool is very helpful. I am a big fan of one specific item of the tool, and I'm going to get to that. But what is it? So it is a way for you to be able to proactively avoid issues before they happen, right? So we have key performance indicators that we've been using, since the beginning of the inception of, ESXi, that are quite common. You guys are very familiar with them. Like, for example, you want to keep the same type of CPU within the cluster, right? This is something that administrators are quite familiar with. This is a key performance indicator. It's not picked up on most diagnostic tools because this is more of a best practice. But this is exactly what Skyline Intelligence will do. And these are the types of things that it will break into. So we want to be able to see things across your environment globally. We want to be able to capture these trends and then be able to provide some intelligence against them. And we want to be able to do this in a prescriptive manner. And so this is included if you have active support, you already have access to Skyline. Also, if you have Success 360 subscriptions or an ARIA, well, we're now calling it, as of this week, ARIA Universal Suite. If you have so basically the subscription models also include it. So I'm pairing that up. So what products does Skyline currently cover today? This is growing all the time. It started off with a vSphere, and then it was like vSphere and Horizon. Then it was vSphere Horizon NSX-V, NSX-T, and then it went to, and of course, operations is a part of that as well. So, what we're trying to do for you guys is we want to be able to basically reduce the time to resolution for your frontline engineers. So 99% of the time, that first call, that triage call, well, I shouldn't say 99% of the time, I should say often, that first call, we want to have that problem resolved then, right? But what if we could have that problem resolved before you even call, right? That would be even better. And so that's the whole point of bringing this tool to light. So it came from kind of a support perspective, but we realized that it was much more than just that. So, you know, a lot of organizations today are saying that, you know, for 1 hour of downtime, it costs them approximately $1 to $5 million. So for every time that for every moment that you guys are down, that's an issue. So what if we could say, hey, here are some things in your environment that are going to be glaring problems. Like, for example, network misconfigurations. That's probably one of the most common ones that you guys will face. If your network is running smoothly and your storage is optimized and your compute is, you know, you got your NUMA clusters optimized, et cetera, you're going to have a smooth running environment, and those anomalies are going to be less likely to come up. And so that's what we're trying to get to. So to date, we have 13,000 customers that are leveraging Skyline. So we have a pretty broad base. So if you guys are new to the Skyline product, you're going to be amongst friends and company. So let's kind of jump over a little bit in the interest of time. And let me tell you exactly how to get access to it and what it does. So we've got a lot of trusted partners that are leveraging our products. But really, let's get down to the crux. So we want to be able to collect information in your environment. So we have a virtual appliance, and it's our Skyline proxy agent. And so you deploy that into your environment, and it starts collecting data. And it's going to do some analysis. It's going to collect some analytical data, and then that goes up to our cloud, our Skyline cloud, and it will actually, we're doing the analysis on the back end and presenting that through a SaaS layer. So it's a very simplified deployment because it's one virtual appliance. And the only thing the thing that you need to be concerned about is just making sure that you have outgoing 443 ports, sorry, too many fours there, going out to the VMware, the Skyline cloud. So once you have this proxy in place, that information is going to start becoming useful. So we have a couple of different products that starts getting integrated into. So, and I may need to just back up here because I think I did. Yes. So we have Skyline Advisor Pro, Skyline Health, and Skyline Health Diagnostics. Okay, so Skyline Advisor Pro and Skyline Health avoid issues before they occur. And that's across vSphere, vSAN, NSX, VCF, which is a combination of those products, and then ARIA operations. And you can log in through the SaaS console and then be presented with a dashboard, and it has a myriad of optimization advice. Skyline Health, and you guys may have seen this in our current deployment of vSphere. So if you go over and you're looking at the diagnostics, it's built into vSphere itself. And that's it. And if you have an active subscription with vSphere or vSAN, you'll be able to get those recommendations. That's coming from Skyline Health. And then lastly is the Skyline Diagnostics. And this is more for your self-service troubleshooting needs. And this is the one that has my favorite feature in, which is called Log Assist. By a show of hands, who's familiar with Log Assist? Okay. So this is a life-saving product. I love it. So by a show of hands, who's had to upload logs to an SR? You don't need to do that with Log Assist. So that to me, in and of itself, should be the main selling point of the product. But I'm biased because I sat in that administrator seat, and it drove me crazy. And so having something here that GSS can now have the logs and be able to do an analysis. As a matter of fact, you can do an analysis with the diagnostic tool itself. And so instead of it even going to triage, the diagnostic tool can actually pinpoint in the logs where your errors are. So you're not scouring through the log trying to figure that out for yourself. And so that's a faster time to resolution. You might not even need to open up an SR. But if you do, you can link the information over through the Skyline Health Diagnostics. All right. How are we doing so far? I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to allow you guys to ask a couple of questions. There we go.
What kind of data does it capture? How often does it send? What's the size of the data?
So that's a great question. That also, so the question was, what data is it collecting? Yes.
I was going to introduce myself first.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm Blair Doyle, Senior Director of Product Management for the Skyline. You need to use a microphone.
Yeah, come on over, my friend. Hey, this is Blair Doyle, by the way.
I'm Blair Doyle. I'm Senior Director of Product Management for the Skyline service. I just want to make a slight adjustment to something you said here. The Log Assist feature is a feature of Skyline Advisor Pro. Skyline Health Diagnostics is actually a self-contained offline-only appliance that helps you upload process support bundles to provide you issue diagnostics. There's no connectivity with Skyline Health Diagnostics to the support ecosystem. That's completely through the SaaS service on Advisor Pro.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that correction. So I got that backwards a little, but thank you very much, Blair. Did you guys capture that? Okay, good. And so back over to your question, which is what is Skyline collecting? So the information that it's connecting over to your vCenter. So the information that vCenter is already collecting about your host and about the products that were aforementioned, it's sending that information over to the Skyline agent, and then it passes that over for analysis. So excellent. You specify that. So that, yes. Correct. Yes, you can. Absolutely. Okay. Anybody else? All right. We're going to go ahead, and then if I can, I'm going to try to hop over and give you guys a demo. If I'm lucky, this will come up. Not that I am aware of. I'm going the wrong way on there we go. Not that I'm aware of, and I have some very large implementations.
Hit the green button. What was the question?
If there's been any implementations that were maybe too large or anything like that.
I don't think that's coming up.
We linked vCenters 2,000 plus clusters.
How many vCenters?
I don't think that's coming up.
Oh, that's not a problem.
Oh no, so I'm dealing with a customer right now. I don't think we have internet connectivity. I'm working with a customer right now that has 33 vCenters. So they have over 50,000 workloads. So that's one of the larger implementations, at least in the healthcare vertical. So for us, I mean, yeah, it can handle quite a bit. So, all right. Anybody else? So it looks like we're connecting to Wi-Fi. So I have a slide. I can operate off of that. I'll just go back to the slide where. Thank you, sir. All right, so we'll just pretend that I logged in here, and my name is Joshua. Okay, so here are some examples of what you would get from Skyline Advisor Pro. So we can see here right now that this one just has a single collector for the environment, and we're not collecting very much information. We have one object that's inactive, but we can see that it's we kind of have a Skittles dashboard here of like the different colors of like, or they call it the stoplight, right, which is the red, yellow, green. We also have an inventory of what products you have and the count of each of those products. So right now we're showing 2 vCenters with 8 hosts and 158 virtual machines. And you can go in and we can go into the inventory here in the inventory tab, and we can get a detailed summary of that. So also we can see here at the main dashboard we have log assist, and we can see that how many active cases that we have open. And again, to me, this is my favorite. And then we have our findings, and the findings are very helpful because we have Skyline Advisor that's available to everybody, and then we also have Skyline Advisor Pro. And so depending on your subscription, I believe Skyline Advisor Pro is available with your TAM subscription. And having Pro, you'll have increased insights with your products. So the other thing that you'll get is also information on end of life, for example. So if you have a product that's, it can tell that, hey, this is a 6.x product. The end of life is coming up in 6 months. Here's a recommendation to upgrade your environment. So, and it can give you some guidelines and some very helpful information in accomplishing those tasks. Speaking of, if you have a TAM, there are some reports that are also integrated into Skyline that the TAM can then help leverage and then help move you guys to that goal line of having that optimized environment. So, Skyline Advisor Pro, it's faster, smarter, and easier. If that's the takeaway for today, I hope that's what you guys get from this conversation. So we have, so one of the things and one of the differences between Skyline Advisor Pro and Skyline Advisor is the metric interval, right? So with Skyline Advisor, it's updating those metrics every 48 hours. So it's not real time, it's giving you a measure of what your environment looks like, right? If you want more real time like diagnostics, you'll want to look at ARIA operations, right? You'll want to go to the next level. So this is more of like a baseline where we're wanting to give you an idea of like what's going on in your environment. Now, Advisor Pro, it's much more frequent, 12 times faster as a matter of fact, which is every 4 hours. So, like I was saying, some of the things that Pro is going to provide you is that end-of-life insights, historical insights as well, right? So that you can kind of go back in time and get an idea of what the landscape is. And then also it'll do this, it'll provide an insights report if you have customer Success 360. So they have, by a show of hands, are there any Success 360 customers here? All right. So you guys are getting an insights report coming from your Success 360 manager. So. All right. So this is an example of one of the insights report that you would be getting, right? And so this is showing you guys, some of the status of the findings and the severities of each one of those findings. And we have 3 levels of severity. We have critical, moderate, and then trivial. And so, we like to think of it as like Sev 1, Sev 2, Sev 3, right? So what are the things that are in emergencies? What are the things that are varying to what are nice to haves? And you can see, here's the resolution types of those findings. So to me, it's something that's very helpful, and it can get very granular. You might be familiar with the TAM actually has a tool that does something that's similar. Now, they are a little bit different between the two. So, but they provide similar insights in the fact that it helps you with upgrade paths. It'll help you with figuring out what is the best, what is some optimizations for your network, right, or security. So that is. I almost skipped some of the better stuff here, which is the Skyline Insights API. So if you guys want to start automating some of this stuff, you'll actually be able to do it, and you'll be able to then integrate some of Skyline into your ITSM. So for example, there's a very common product out there that a lot of people are using as an ITSM, and we do have API integrations that will help with that product. Activation is easy. It's just a simple click for you to go from running all of the collectors to getting useful information over in the SaaS application. So we do have, like I said, we do have TAM reporting in the product. As a TAM, I was using this, and I found it very helpful because we would get the key performance indicators, and although that's great, so you have your engineering team, they're like, yeah, that's awesome. So we have a mismatch of memory, and we have this, and we have that. You're adding additional work, right? How are we going to get across the line? And so the TAM is really there to really facilitate that. And so their purpose is to really kind of take that information and help enable you as an organization get to the next level. So, for example, as a TAM, I would ask, okay, let's say there's a mismatch of memory. Oh, better yet, how about standard switches versus virtual distributed switches, right? So if you have a cluster that has a mismatch, that could be very problematic in networking. So it would be, the infrastructure team might not have the capability to go over to the networking team and explain what's going on. So I would stand in and maybe help assist the customer with the other teams and say, hey, from a networking perspective, this is what they're dealing with. So I think a combination of Skyline with a TAM is very beneficial. So, but of course, then again, I was a TAM and used it all the time and loved it. So, because before we were doing this by hand, we were doing this manually, just like you guys were. So, to me, it most definitely is a friend and a part of your team, and not just a tool. I think that it helps reduce the amount of tickets, the amount of time that's spent on the phone with global support services, which I think we can all celebrate in that, right? So I want to thank everybody for your time today, and have a wonderful rest of your VMware Explore experience. So thank you guys.